Okay, everybody, 30 minutes to establish a 1 rep max for 3 of the following lists. We're going to start with overhead squat, then we move on to snatch. That can be power or squat snatch, and finally ending with power clean. The reason why we're starting with the overhead squat is because it requires the most amount of time under tension. So it's also going to require the most amount of midline stability and shoulder stability. I would probably give myself around 10 minutes for each lift. And I would probably treat the first 3 to 4 minutes as an EMOM to kind of get yourself prepped. The reason why I like EMOMs is it keeps me on task, and also kind of takes kind of the nerves out of it, because if I know I have to go on the minute, then I have no choice. So that kind of helps me just stay on task. After you establish the overhead squat, you're going to move on to the snatch. Now, this is probably the most important part of the 1 rep maxes today, because the snatch is the most technical. So this is probably my most important piece of advice, is that if you hit a warm-up lift and it's sloppy, repeat that same weight. Reason being, if you're reinforcing bad mechanics at the beginning, it's not going to get any better if you go for a 1 rep max later at heavier weight. So if you hit something and you're like, that didn't quite feel right, hit that same weight again. So that way you're reinforcing good mechanics and you feel a good lift, because if you don't feel a good lift early on, you're probably not going to lift very well later down the road within that 10 minutes. And then finally, we have power clean. Power clean is where we're going to put up the most amount of weight today for any of the lifts, or at least you should be. It requires, it's the less technical, doesn't require really a ton of mobility, and it's the shortest range of motion out of both. On the power clean, you could probably start with the same weight that you just snatched successfully. And for power cleans, I would keep it at singles. So I wouldn't do multiple reps. Probably just do one, throw on weight. And then power cleans is also where you kind of can afford to make some pretty big jumps. So, because you're going to be warmed up. You're going to be warmed up from the overhead squat and the snatch. So you're going to feel probably pretty fresh for the power clean. So don't be afraid to kind of be aggressive on the power clean today, since that's going to be the lift we're going to put up the most amount of weight. Good luck, everyone. I hope this video was helpful, and really excited to see what you guys put up for your numbers.